imagine that I will make it out somehow.
Hello everyone, welcome to another live. I hope your week has been alright. Mine's been a bit slow. I don't know if any of you have had this similar things. If you have, put them in the chat or the comments below if you're watching it in the replay. What we found out mainly for us this week is our working day seems to take longer than normal, and the only thing we can put it down to is the amount of spider webs that are out on all the window frames. So yeah, spider mating season. When you Google it anyway, it's between September and October. I seem to think that they probably started earlier in August, to be honest. I just wondered if you guys have found something similar. Cheers under pressure. You've done the biggest bit, which is starting. So it's all right thinking about it, but very few jump to it and just go for it. So good on you for doing that. And I bet you in 3 years' time, you'll start thinking you're just over busy. Trust me, just work at it, keep going. It will come together in the end and get there, mate. So what we're going to talk about for today's live stream will be this. My must-have handy tool, which I recommend to everyone, and that's the Muck Off chain brush. Yes, I did say that right, so no need to bleep that one out. And this is basically what it is. Absolute awesome piece of kit. It's always handy in my pocket. No worries under pressure. And I totally use it every day, especially this week when I've mentioned already about all the spider spider webs everywhere. This is absolutely brilliant for all that kind of stuff, which you'll see later. I get mine from Amazon, but you can probably buy them from Halfords. But get them from Amazon, get delivered to your door. And all my kids have got one. In fact, I do a checklist, check their pockets, make sure they've got it to hand it's no good being stuck in the van, because you know they ain't going to walk back and get it. Where it's in a pocket, they'll whip it out, use it. It's a lifesaver. So yeah, that's my must-have handy tool that I recommend. So where do you get them from? I've already mentioned it. If this would load up, I doubt it will. Here we go. It's from Amazon. When I was looking on here last night, it's £3 something, so it's now £5.22. When I normally get these, normally cost me about a £5 anyway. Excuse me. And yeah, really, really top bit of kit. No excuse not to have one. You can see then that it's mainly a chain brush for cleaning bicycle chains, which you'll see on the pictures here, so it'll give you some sense of scale. But it's got all the handy different sized brushes on there for different uses, and they come in really useful when you're cleaning the windows, to be honest. You got a good bit on the end there. It's like a hook, so it's good for whipping out egg sacs. Use it like a hook, the spider egg sacs that is. And also you can use it as a makeshift scraper. There we go. Some more pictures for you. Yep, Ched, exactly. You'll see it in a video clip. It's really good for getting that little lip on the windowsill below where the window frame is. That little expansion gap. There's loads of spiders like living in there. It gets in there absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you'll see it on the video clips. In fact, I might as well go to it. Sorry, there you go. These longer brushes, they're really good as well. These ones here. Good for getting in the corners of the window frames as well. When all the green algae and stuff gets in there, I find it a lot more effective than trying to do it with the water-fed pole brush. It just speeds up my workflow, I find, with having that in my pocket. It's really, really good. So what I'll do then is I'll go on to some videos for you, just show you. So here you can see me then using the end bit, and it's getting into the window frame, and you saw it's just hooked out like a small egg sac. I did some before I finished work today that were right up in the vents, and there's a first clean, so there was loads of egg sacs in there. So yeah, whipped them out, no problem. It's good for these corners near the frames where you get lots of dog hairs as well as spider webs all in there, where sometimes your brush struggles. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, must have. And also it's good for hinges. If I can get to the video playing. Here we go. So the hinges on your patio doors as well, it's really, really hard to get in there and clean them. So I find it's just easier, put your brush, lean it against the wall, get this out of your pocket. I pre-wet it first and have a little go with my brush, but I don't take too long because I know this is going to do most of the work for me. And it's great for getting in where the barrels are and in the small gaps. And you probably find it'll rain spiders out of there as well. Like it looks like they're parachuting out to safety. So top bit of kit. And it's good for all the bottom bits of your window frames as well. In this bit here is a house I do. And you get lots of moss growing in these sort of areas, especially on the sash windows around the front where it's in the shade. And this just gets in there, flicks it all out a lot quicker than I would with my water-fed pole brush on its own. There's the end that I'm using, and you can use the other side with the longer bristles as well. It's great for getting in the corners of the window frames like that. And this is the expansion gap that Ched was on about. There you go, fits in there. It's great for getting into the corners and flicking out. Underneath patio doors, you'll find tons of dog hair collects in there. And every window will have spiders. It doesn't take long. Just flick it all out there, then go over with your water-fed pole and using your brush like you normally do, and then jet your water in there to give it a good flush through as much as you can. And then when you start doing that, it will keep them cleaner and clearer. And yeah, it's an absolute brilliant tool. It's my, like I say, must-have tool. You need it. And it only costs £5. Also, this bit here is great. When my electric reels, the chain comes off the cogs, I can't fit my fingers in the gaps. So this comes in handy to get onto the chain itself to help me get it back onto the gear system while I try and move the reel. So it saves me time for when my chain comes off, which doesn't happen too often now, thankfully, since I've had it looked at. So the muck off brush, here we go. Tried to get a picture of it for you all. It has muck off written on there, but this is that old. I mean, I've had this, 3 years? And the kids have probably used about 5 times that amount because they keep losing them. It's a muck off chain brush. Just look it up on Amazon. In fact, I'll just have a look for you. There we go, muck off claw brush. That's what you'll find on Amazon. You find them in Halfords. It's like I say, just for cleaning your bike chains. But it's really, really handy. Something I used to use would have been car detailing brushes, but I didn't find them nowhere near as good as this. This is nice and long. It's longer than a car detail brush, and it gets into those gaps a lot better. There's a lot of power in there as well. These bits as well as there. And they are good for getting hard stuff that's on the frames or the windowsills, those little marks. So sometimes it saves you even getting steel wool out, or I can't find it now. I always have walnut pad, and some of that walnut pad or pad and this, you can clear up these little marks in seconds and then follow it up with the water fed pole. And like I said, it speeds up my workflow no end. So I take it, Ched, as well, you've been finding this week there's loads of spiders everywhere and webs. The other thing as well, you know, when you get to near some of them spiders and you're like, oh, I don't want to touch that. You can use that, get it, and then flick it away. I don't like killing things unnecessarily, so I'm all for saving them and shoving them on their way, or even place them away somewhere. So they're good for that if you're a bit jumpy. Yeah, it's an absolute top bit of kit. That's basically all I wanted to talk about for this live. Yeah, has anyone else had problems this week with the time it's taken to clean your windows because of spider mating season? So there's cobwebs and spiders everywhere. And you're going to have these egg sacs obviously coming up, and they're going to be there a long time through winter. I mean, I don't know what they use, but it's probably nature's super glue, because they're not easy to get off. Another good thing I find this for is when you finish cleaning a house is you can tidy up around your brush head, because you're going to collect all the cobwebs on there, and it's quite good to flick them off while you walk into your van just to tidy it up a bit. So if a customer comes along, looks at your kit, for example, it doesn't look as minging. At least it looks like you're taking a bit of caring for it. But yeah, that's what I use it for. Absolutely love it. So I would recommend definitely go and get one. Like I say, it's brilliant for getting the nooks and crannies, especially where you're getting moss. Or, you know, in these lower bits in the frame, it gets a build-up of grit in it. Sometimes you're having to constantly flush it out. This will help speed the process up as well. And it's good at getting everything out. Like I said, them egg sacs, no problem. Yeah, I love mine, especially up in the top of the vents. In the little, you get little holes. It's full of egg sacs in there. Just flick them out. In fact, this tool has also landed me jobs because someone's walking past the other side of the road, and then they've seen me using this tool. It just looks different what they've seen before. They've probably seen someone cleaning with a water-fed pole, but they've never seen someone dig one of these out of the pockets and getting right in the nooks and crannies. And everyone just thinks that's awesome. That sort of level of detail attracts their attention. And yeah, some people think, right, you're thorough, I'm going to have you. So I would definitely always carry one in your pocket. Have a spare one in your van, because if you lose it, I'd be lost. So it's good to have one to hand. Sorry to hear that, Ched. Very bad first clean. Yep, the expansion gap full of mess, spider sacs and soil. Yes, Ched, that's a really good point as well. The sliding patio doors where you got all the tracks and you can't get your brush into the gaps, especially when the bristles aren't long enough. this definitely gets in there, flicks stuff out. This is long enough, and it's really good. And like I said, if you need to get stubborn bits, you can use that as a hook to whip things out. And the thing is, when you got it in your pocket, it takes seconds just to get it, seconds to put it back in. You're not even looking at what you're doing. It just becomes a well rehearsed routine. And like I said, you're just holding your pole, whip that out, put it in there, back in your pocket, follow it up. It will honestly speed your workflow up no end, especially this time of year. I'd definitely have it. It's good as well for solid on bird poo. I mean, you can use these bristles on the glass as well. They're not going to harm anything, and they are pretty stiff and solid. So yeah, I find it really good. Lost my train of thought. So head yourself over to Amazon, have a look for one of these, and as you can see, £5.22 with your delivery, and that's just for one. Or next time you're out and you're near Halfords and you're walking around upstairs, you'll see them on the shelf. Just get one. Absolutely invaluable, handy tool. It's a must-have, definitely. I'm really glad I got it, and it's always in my pocket, always, and a spare one always in the van. They come in really, really handy. And yeah, it's good for all the nooks and crannies. It's good as well around the patio door handles. When you start thinking of the corners where you can even get bits of moss starting to sprout out there, it'll dig in and flick that stuff out, no problem. Whereas it can be a bit awkward to get your brush in, especially where the handle is. You can't quite get your brush in there. This thing, just whip it out straight in there. No problem at all. I just hope everyone's having not a bad week. I ended the day on a first clean like you, Ched. So yeah, lots of spiders, lots of spider webs. Because I've also changed my schedule to get my work more clumped, like when I did my first live, that importance of having an organised schedule. It's missed some of my customers about a bit, where there'd be 8 weeks. They've turned since 14 weeks since I last cleaned them. And them houses were howfing when it came to the spider webs. The windows weren't too bad. It's just the spider webs. And they just clog up on your brush as well. So again, you can use this to clean your brush on your water-fed pole, just so it looks a bit better and it's not all dangling all that stuff off, and you just place it from one window and then dropping it onto another part of a window somewhere else. So yeah, top tool. It's the most used tool I have, and it's simple, absolutely simple. Well, that's it for me. Thanks very much for tuning in. But just remember, as I start to get more people here and involved, what I'll do is I'll go to a Q&A time, or we could try it now, about anything. All I ask is, when you use the comments, when it's during the live, if you can just put a capital Q with a colon in front of your question, it just means I can go onto me comments and do a search using the capital Q and colon, and then it just shortlists the comments down to the questions. And then that way at the end, I can go through the questions that you may have for you as well. And yeah, just get in touch or use the comments below in the replay, and I'll get back to you as well. Let's do all these buttons I've got to keep learning to press. I'm trying to improve my setup to make this better, and I'm sure I'll get there in the end. But yeah, my back's been hurting a bit today as well. I've been using my 35-foot pole. It's 18 foot, but I can put extensions on it to 35, and I've used that and using some ladders because I've got to on certain areas or where the gates have been shot. It's just made me realise I'm getting old. Anyway, thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a good, safe